What's up? Anybody out there just want to get going with these pumps? Oh man, it's been one of those weeks again, right? It's been real. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff waiting to happen, and I guess a lot of stuff has been happening, but it hasn't been really pumping. Things haven't been pumping, but this deals are still in. So yeah, you gotta get in on some of those good deals. So what do we got going on? Tariffs disrupting what was expected to be a strong home buying season. That's right. Yeah, because what was it? Midweek we had a what was it? New housing starts where it came out a much worse than expected. But building permits came in at a better than expected, which means that people are anticipating things to be good, but they're just not flipping the cash to putting out the cash to make those purchases, to buy those buy the material and sign the contracts with the contractors and the home loans or whatever it is. But yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. But let's get into some of this stuff. So gathering all the articles, all the happenings throughout this week. Yeah, XRP beats Ethereum for 6 months straight. XRP become the next largest altcoin. I think it will. I mean, I think it has a good shot. I mean, I don't know if it will, but I mean, it might. It's like there's not one of those things anymore where it's like, oh, no way. Ethereum is going to stay at number 2. So, yeah. I mean, I'd totally welcome it. But because I totally hate ETH, I keep saying I hate ETH. I mean, I have a bunch of ETH just for the transaction fees whenever I want to cash out. I got a lot of ETH tokens. I don't know, maybe like good 15 of them, maybe 20. And some big bags of like Turbo and Pepe, maybe a little bit of Hoppy and a little bit here and there of other stuff. But Land Wolf on ETH, the Bird Dog on ETH, those are the first things that pop into mind. But I mean, I hate ETH. But I don't like XRP either, but I feel like I'm forced to use ETH just because of some of those meme coins. And there are meme coins on XRP. I came across like a couple of them or something like that, but I don't know. It's just not a thing. So who the hell cares? What the hell is this thing that's popping up? So what else we got going on? Fun fact, this is interesting. In 2010, this website would give away 5 Bitcoin per visitor for free. Oh man.
Perfect.
Can you imagine that? I mean, I don't know. I kind of. So yeah, I would imagine in 2010, Bitcoin was like a fraction of a cent, because in the bull run of 2011, it went from 1/3 of a cent and 1000x to like $32. So in 2010, my God, it would have been practically worthless. I mean, yeah. But man, that is crazy how things change. What other news have I come across? Wallet Connect. Yeah. I was getting a lot of these notifications in my community and my Discord about Wallet Connect token, which was like, oh, that sounds like a nice, safe play. It's interesting. Wallet Connect got listed, I guess, on LBank and like 4 or 5 other exchanges prior to its official launch, and I bought some Wallet Connect token. So let's see how that palms and stuff. Yeah, let me let's check it out. Let's see what it's doing. I can't imagine it's not doing. I don't think it's doing much, but we'll see. I don't think anything is doing much now. Everything is like trading sideways. 69 million. Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's already on Binance. Yeah, I just got listed on a whole bunch of Binance, OKX, Big Get. Yeah, it's been listed like a whole bunch of places. Crypto.com. Yeah. So yeah, that's a probably a good stable play. I mean, I don't think it's going to get the pumps like a meme coin would, but yeah, like why not? Everybody knows about Wallet Connect. You come across it at least every now and then. And I want to close that tab. I don't know. So what else we got going on? What else is going on? OKX, yeah, just talked about OKX. Takes the leap in the U.S. market. Yeah, with Coinbase and Kraken already in play, I think they just got it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna create an account on OKX, on OKX or whatever. I think OKX is the proper way to say it. I feel like I want to say OKX. But yeah, I'm on a bunch of tier 1 exchanges, and OKX is a pretty big one in terms of volume. When you see how much volume is coming out of OKX, when you look investigating coins, man, it's a ton of volume. What else? Other bullish news. Canary Capital has filed for SEC for a spot Tron ETF. I don't use Tron. I don't invest in Tron. But yeah, why not? It's always bullish. It's bullish for crypto all around. Tron, I think, is a pretty good play because it is one of the few old timers, old tokens that went through its first and second bull run, and in the second bull run beat its all-time high. Or what is it? I think Tron it was like a unique situation. Tron didn't beat its all-time high from its first bull run in the second bull run, but in this third bull run has already done that. So it's had like its third cycle now is actually performing rather well. So yeah, got a good strong play. What else is going on? Japanese retailer ANAP added 70 million in Bitcoin to its treasury. Yeah, I mean that's always good news to hear that. It's gonna make Bitcoin pump like crazy. I'm hearing all these wild, like across the board estimates. Like somebody said that they think Bitcoin is only going to reach 140K by this November, and that's that for this cycle. And I'm like, dude, I don't think so. I've also heard an extreme opposite. Was Arthur Hayes, the founder of is it BitMEX, or one of those centralized exchanges, said that he thinks that Bitcoin is going to reach $1 million this cycle, which is that's even crazy. Like you got crazy on the low end, you got crazy on the high end. I don't know, but I mean, he knows his stuff. I guess you can say it can do that if governments just start buying Bitcoin like outright, like not just a strategic reserve in terms of confiscations from criminals, but just outright buying of Bitcoin. That it would cause the price to go to $1 million this cycle. But other than that, yeah, I mean, we could be seeing some pumps in the next couple of months just because of the global M2 money supply, and we might see a pump for a couple of months, and it could break its all-time high with by June, maybe dump again in July, and then a few months later go up again. But I don't think it's for this entire cycle. I don't think it's going to go less than like 300K, and I think it's unrealistic that this cycle is going to end this year because we are so far behind when it comes to QT and then transition over to QE. We are like way far behind. Like in the 2021 bull run, QT had already ended in 2020, so that hasn't happened in 2025. So we're way far behind. There's nothing that says it has been following a 4-year cycle, the last 4 cycles, but there's nothing that says it needs to, because the Bitcoin bull run, the first bull run, was before the first halving, and that was in 2011. And then 2 years later, there was another bull run, and in both, I guess in both bull runs, the global M2 money supply had pumped to the moon just a few months prior. So, in the months prior, in the 6 months prior, and it just started pumping. So, it's just more closely correlated to that. So, what else we got? What else we got going on? Yeah. Yeah, interesting stuff. This is so we have Trump claims if he asks Powell to leave the Fed, he'll leave. If I ask him to, he'll be out of there. I don't think he's going to do the job. So
Jerome Powell, you said that the termination of Jerome Powell cannot come fast enough. He says he won't leave even if you ask him to.
Oh, he'll leave. If I ask him to, he'll be out of there. But I don't think he's doing the job. He's too late, always too late, a little slow, and I'm not happy with him. I let him know it, and if I want him out, he'll be out of there real fast. Believe me.
I don't know how he's talking tough, but he doesn't really have the power to fire, the head of the Federal Reserve. So unless the powers that be, I don't know, everybody who's controlling things behind the scenes and got together and like, this is it. This guy's got to go. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's like obvious to everybody, everybody and anybody that interest rates should be cut in May, but I don't think Jerome Powell is going to do it. So it's like this. Everybody thinks like, yeah, they should be cut, but everybody also thinks that he's probably not going to do it, and we're going to have some trouble. So we'll see what happens. Here's Elizabeth Warren's response. So if Chairman Powell can be fired by the President of the United States, it will crash the markets. But I really want to. Which is true. I mean, if out of the blue, you wake up one day and there's news that Trump has fired Jerome Powell, yeah, the markets are gonna tank like crazy. Like, okay, let me go make some more buys. I've bought plenty of dips over the last I don't know how, like every other day there's been a dip, man, for the last few weeks, but I don't mind another one.
To make a pitch here for a second about the importance of Powell staying in his job. Look,
and it's unusual coming from you. You're very critical of him.
I have tangled with him on a regular basis about both regulations and interest rates.
Yeah, she didn't like him either. I mean, I don't know who likes her, but yeah, no, but I don't know. I guess a lot of people have the same, feeling about the guy.
But understand this. If Chairman Powell can be fired by the President of the United States, it will crash the markets in the United States.
Yeah.
The infrastructure that keeps this stock market strong, and therefore a big part of our economy strong, and therefore a big part of the world economy strong, is the idea that the big pieces move independent of the politics, that somebody is making her best decisions economically and independently. We understand that if the New York Stock Exchange, if interest rates in the United States are subject to a president who just wants to wave his magic wand, this doesn't distinguish us then from any other two-bit dictatorship around the world where everyone knows what you're big and.
Yeah, but you see the problem here, it's like, I don't know, it's common sense. You have central banks around the world that are cutting interest rates, right? So apparently everybody else has the same forward vision except Jerome Powell. So that's the issue. Now is everybody else wrong and Jerome Powell's right? I mean, it could happen. I think we all doubt it, but strange things happen. But I don't know. We got to see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Investment risk is, will that dictator wake up in the morning and have a tummy ache and decide to cause this problem or favor that friend? That's why we need to strengthen the infrastructure.
But I know.
Yeah, I mean, she's got her points. She's got a good argument there.
About the importance of Powell State.
I don't tend to side with Pocahontas, but but anyways, it is what it is. We got to see what happens. Trump on trade and tariffs. Let me see.
At the highest level, frankly, with other. As you know, we've had numerous talks, very, very at the highest level, frankly, with other countries. Yeah, we're doing very well, and we're moving along on trade very well. The United States was ripped off and taken advantage of by every country in the world, practically. I mean, I have to say practically, but just about everyone. That's not going to happen anymore, but we're going to make fair deals.
Yeah, I know. It's just like you got to agree sometimes, because the when it comes to fair deals, I mean, like some of those barriers that other countries put on American goods are crazy, as if the goods just could never have a chance of even getting into those markets. And then, and the worst part is with China, when an American company wants to sell, or any company in the world wants to sell in China, they have to give up 51% of the business in China, and then China gets all the intellectual property. So it's craziness. But I don't know, man. It's just I don't know how that ever went through. Like how the hell does a quasi-fascist nation get allowed into the World Trade Organization, things like I just don't. I like how do we get to that point? Capitalism is supposed to help to convince people to make their lives better, not necessarily to help people doing the wrong thing to become more richer and powerful. So it's I mean, that's a topic. That's not even a political topic. That's more of a philosophical topic. Anyways, what else? What do we got going on? What did I have with this open? So Bitcoin test. What do we got going on here? Let's check this out.
We got it.
Today, Ether falls while Bitcoin holds its ground. OKX expands its presence in the United States, including a new California headquarters. And CleanSpark CEO Zach Brown.
Coinbase report finds market cap for altcoins fell 46% from December high. Yeah.
Bradford explains the reasoning.
46%? Man, I thought it was more than that. Well, I guess you're talking about altcoins. You're talking about layer ones. Yeah. I was thinking meme coins.
Behind the company's plan to start selling its mined Bitcoin. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Major cryptocurrencies falling slightly, with Bitcoin holding pretty steady, trading just below $85,000. Ether sliding 1.8% to under $1,600. And XRP also falling nearly 2%, all as of noon Eastern. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. International crypto exchange OKX is expanding its presence in the U.S. following a settlement with the Department of Justice. The company launched trading in multiple states and a self-custody wallet that supports more than 130 blockchains. It's also setting up a new regional headquarters in San Jose and appointing former Barclays director Roshan Robert as U.S. CEO. The move comes after the firm wrapped a legal battle with the DOJ back in February. OKX pleaded guilty to violating anti-money laundering laws and agreed to pay a penalty of more than $500
Oh, wow. Interesting.
million. This expansion also comes amid a looser regulatory environment in the U.S. since President Trump took the reins back in January. Next, Coinbase is warning of bearish trends in crypto markets. Its April monthly outlook for institutional investors found the total market cap for altcoins plunged 41% from its high of $1.6 trillion in December. The figure now stands at around $950 billion. The report also said that despite an uptick in VC funding in the first quarter, funding levels are still down between 50 and 60% from the peak reached in the 2021 and 2022 cycles. That limits new capital coming into the space. And of course, there are broader pressures. The report found that crypto's recovery could struggle thanks to recent market uncertainty spurred by trade policy. That's despite the industry's recent regulatory progress.
Yeah, but new capital is going to be coming soon. At least the money supply is pumping. Not yet in the United States, but it will. It will. Either interest rates going to be cut in May, or they're not going to be cut, and all hell's going to break loose with the economy, and then they're going to cut them in June. So it's going to happen.
The report suggests crypto prices may find their floor this quarter. Finally, former SEC Chair Gary Gensler joined CNBC's Squawk Box this morning, where he was asked about recent developments involving crypto cases. Last week, the Senate confirmed President Trump's pro-crypto SEC chair pick, Paul Atkins. He succeeds Gensler, who was widely criticized by the crypto community for his regulation by enforcement approach to the industry. Since Gensler's departure, several crypto companies, including Ripple, Coinbase, and Kraken, saw lawsuits or investigations dropped, resolved, or put on hold by the agency. Gensler was asked about that this morning and didn't answer the question directly, instead reiterating his belief that investors need to tread carefully when dealing with crypto.
This field is almost 99, or maybe one might say 100% sentiment and very little on fundamentals.
Yo,
and
what's going on?
Something like Bitcoin may persist for a long time because there's 7 billion people around the globe, a real keen interest in it. There's 10 or 15,000 others of these tokens. And to think through your own risk, your own personal risk about where are the fundamentals. And if this is just about sentiment, then generally those don't end up well, and most then go down.
Okay. All right, turning to Bitcoin mining for our main story. CleanSpark announced the company will start selling...
mining. What else we got? What else we got going on? Oh, yeah. This was interesting from Altcoin Daily. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah. You're gonna just smack Oklahoma.
Bill has failed in Oklahoma.
Imagine making $453,000.
Oh, shut up. Get out of here, man. All right, here we go.
This means for you, breaking news, the strategic Bitcoin reserve bill has failed in Oklahoma. Let's talk about what this means for you as a Bitcoin investor, what this means for the future of the overall...
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. How the hell did that fail? Yeah, and it was like one guy's passionate argument here, and it flipped at least one person, but it wasn't good enough.
Bitcoin legislation landscape. Of course, what Fed Chair Jerome Powell just said today about cutting rates, as well as the latest altcoin news. This is why you subscribe to Altcoin Daily for an edge investing in crypto by staying up to date. And let's start. Oklahoma's strategic Bitcoin reserve bill fails to pass in Senate committee. The vote was so close it almost passed. But what was interesting, in Senator Guthrie's closing statement, he gave an impassioned speech about why the state of Oklahoma needs to take Bitcoin seriously. This is about a 2-minute speech. Watch this.
See no debate. Senator Guthrie, would you care to close the debate? Senator Guthrie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know Bitcoin is hard to grasp. This is not something new. This is, if you look at Bitcoin over the last 10 years, like I said, it has a 12,000% increase and a 49% annualized return. There has not been a period of 4 years that Bitcoin has lost money. Bitcoin is not going away. And I also want to say thank you very much, Senator Hall, for taking the time and going through this and discussing this with me. That I really do have a lot of respect for you for that. Oklahoma can be last, or we can be at the front of the line. And there's a lot of things we're last in. And this is going to come around at some point where if we don't do this today, we're going to do this at some point. This bill puts guardrails in place. It limits to 5%. It says we're only investing in something that has a market cap of $500 billion. That is not a small investment. This does not have people's hands in it. This is not a company that can fail. Bitcoin is too big to fail. It is already in place. It is an asset. It will not fail. It cannot go away. So
this is just awesome, though.
If you look at companies, and Senator, you mentioned .com were run by people. People are flawed. People make bad decisions, and they can fail. And what we saw with the .com, that is exactly what happened. This is not that case. Like I said, we can be first, get in first of the line, be proactive, and do something where we are having a fiduciary duty to also make good investments with our constituents' investments and money. And this is up to 5%. This is not say we have to do 5%. This says we can do 0.5%. The foreign bonds are 0.6%. That is not, I don't believe that is a good investment. This is something we could replace that with. But we could leave this in the hands of the treasurer. They're statewide elected official. They are in the position to make those good sound investments, as well as the pension board. They will vet these before they make any kind of decision such as this. So I would respectfully ask for your support and put Oklahoma on the map as moving forward. And I'll close with that, Mr. Chair.
The vote will now occur on House Bill 1203. Clerk will call the roll.
And of course, this bill went on to fail in Oklahoma, but Senator Guthrie gave such an impassioned speech, it changed some minds. Important. Politicians voting on Bitcoin reserve legislation can be persuaded. Here, Senator Christy Gillespie's vote was changed from no to yes at last minute. None of these bills are guaranteed to pass or fail, but Bitcoiners, you can make a difference.
Yeah, it's true. It was a very good speech, and it actually did change at least somebody. But it's unfortunate that it failed. Yeah, there's other states out there. I guess Oklahoma is going to be left behind. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people don't see it, and it's weird. I don't know if it's because I've known about Bitcoin and crypto for so long, and because I'm a software guy. It's like some people just don't get it. And it's not only crypto. I mean, people I don't know. I feel like people are out of touch with, back in as recent as 2017, 2018, I would just talk to people, find a contractor or something, and just say oh, I'll send you a text message, and they would say something like, oh, I'm too old to use text messages. I don't use text messages, and I'm like, dude, you're only 5 years older than me. I'm like, what the hell? I don't think it has to do with age. I just think some people are just really out of touch. And when it comes to Bitcoin, it's I think they need to hear it over and over again. Just hear the media, just they need to hear it like it's a household term in order to be like, oh, okay, that's okay. Because if that doesn't happen, it just doesn't enter. I don't know. But I mean, it's a good thing for all of us. For anybody who's watching this video today, I mean, it just means we're in early. So we're going to be way up above all the other people who get into it late, right? So we're going to have significantly higher net worths than everybody else. But yeah, I mean, this is what it is. What else we got going on? Yeah, the memes I collect. Yeah.
Are you still with us?
Bro bought Bitcoin at 180, Ethereum at 4K, and Solana at 260.
Candace, are you still with us?
Yeah, well, I think Bitcoin and Solana are going to break their all-time highs. I think it's going to pump in the next couple of months. But Ethereum going to 4,000 or 5,000 in the next couple of months. I don't think so, man. I mean, yeah, at the top of the bull run, I'm sure Ethereum will make it to 4,000, 5,000, maybe beyond that. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to do it relatively the same time that Bitcoin passes 108. Anyways. What else we got going on? My crypto wallet in December.
Right, let's fucking move.
Yeah, in December.
What the fuck is going on here? Have a fucking good time. Let's go to fucking Monaco now, huh? Right. Let's fucking move. Let's go. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, hopefully in next month is going to be different. My portfolio 3 months ago, my portfolio now. I was looking at this. I'm like, this isn't a Cybertruck. This is a freaking garbage dumpster type of thing on both sides with regular wheels. What the hell? What else we got? Me out of cash, and this is the dip. Yeah, I mean, things might be pumping soon, but it's still April 19th. I mean, we could get a few more dips. I mean, we could get, everything's been trading sideways for about a week now, but we could get some good dips again. It's very possible, so be prepared. What's this? What's going on? It's not loading? There you go. Ah, okay. So, one bad day is not a bad life. Remember that. Yeah. This is how resistance works in trading. You can't get a more better and more perfect analogy. This is how resistance works. Oh, he didn't know that. Oh, God, dude. Hope he was all right, because a head injury isn't a good injury. Oh, man. Best Bitcoin ad.
What is this archaic system?
Mother's maiden name? VOBJNBFKOTXCYAPZ.
You're telling me this guy is how things get verified.
That's my job.
Oh. I'm just saying, you shouldn't have... What is this archaic system?
Mother's maiden name? VOBJNBFKOTXCYAPZ.
You're telling me this guy is how things get verified.
That's my job.
Oh. I'm just saying, you shouldn't have to buy $10 worth of gum if you just want 79 cents worth of gum. Why do you get charged your money to take your money from your account? And if you're out of money, they charge you for being out of money?
What?
An overseas transfer takes 5 days?
Business days.
Why?
What are they using? A Zeppelin?
I deposited the check Monday.
But Monday was a bank holiday.
Why is this the way it is?
A bank holiday?
This system
What's a bank holiday?
makes no sense.
This makes no sense.
Who designed this system?
Ring out.
Is this really the best we can do?
Hello?
Don't we deserve better?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. When this guy's, yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, when this guy's, that's gonna happen. When's the next FOMC meeting? It's in it was like May 6th or 7th or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. That's what's probably gonna happen. Simplest way to get rich.
Rich is to do goddamn nothing. Seriously, you just buy Bitcoin and forget about it. Just go live your life. Like my friend George Bodine, go paint paintings, go work out, go do whatever, you know, your God-given talents tell you should be doing, knowing that your future economic well-being is in the most secure, growing network in the world. And it'll always be there. And every year you come back to it and you'll say, gosh, that's nice. I'm wealthier now. The change in mindset that occurs once you really fully understand this, it's really amazing. You just get relaxed, you feel good. I no longer worry about, can I retire? I no longer worry about, am I going to have enough money? It's just not something I worry about. And I think it's unusual. I think most people live their lives with a certain amount of just financial and economic stress, where their money is something that's always weighing on them. They're scared about it. They're concerned about it. And that's no way to live your life. It's kind of ironic that the simplest and best way to get rich is to do goddamn nothing. Seriously, you just buy.
Billy Bong. Job reports on May 2nd. What is it, like the ADP job report? Or yeah, May 2nd on Friday. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't think the job losses are mounting now. There's been some job losses because of the tariffs, but I don't think that's gonna really hit the record until May. So I hope not, right? Because maybe, I don't know. So if the job report goes down, I mean, what Powell cares about is just inflation. Even if jobs goes down, if inflation is high, yeah, he's not going to cut interest rates. He doesn't care about the jobs report because he doesn't want stagflation, right? That's like, keep talking about that. He doesn't want the economy to go down with job losses at the same time that inflation is going up. So that's stagflation. So he at the expense of jobs, he's going to try to make inflation go down. So, but I don't really think that inflation is going up this month. I mean, I don't know. You guys can tell me. I don't think anything's going up, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, all the reports that I've seen in the last 2 weeks, everything's been going down. Everything's been deflationary. So prices are going down. People are not buying as much stuff, like stupid shit. They bought a lot in March, things they need, but I don't know. Hopefully that means that, we're going to see interest rates cuts. Hopefully Big Daddy Powell is going to be like, okay, inflation has plummeted. Let me just cut interest rates. So hopefully that happens. What do we got?
By being an expert at losing. Yeah. A successful trader is not trying to make things happen. He's managing that beast, that caveman brain, so that it's okay to lose. In fact, he trains himself to say, that was a really good loss. I look at my trade and say, was this a method mistake? No, that's pretty much my strategy. Was it a psychological mistake? No, I had a good solid mindset. Then what happened is I just experienced probability. The successful trader wins by being an expert at losing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I think I left this. I left a tab open from one of the last streams where it's not. This is. Did I have it open? No. Or was it this one? Yeah, I think it was this one. No, it was not. God damn. No. Oh well. I did. Here it is. Yeah, that's what that other video just reminded me of. Trading that goes against human nature. That to succeed, you must kill fear and greed. Two things you were born with. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love this quote. What else? Okay, what else we got? Oh, this one was awesome. Hold on. Let's start this off. I hate the way you can't really go backward.
I drank a shit ton of bourbon.
Fucking legend. How do you survive the bear market, Dad?
I drank a shit ton of bourbon.
Fucking legend.
How did you survive the bear market, Dad? Drank a shit ton of bourbon. Fucking legend. Me getting ready. Talking about crypto at the family Easter. So what else would I got going on here? So, yeah, everything's trading relatively sideways. Yeah, total crypto market cap. There was Bitcoin here. Things looks relatively green, but it's only green by like 1% or 0.5%. XRP, everything's like that. Fear and greed. It's at 32, which I guess sounds about right. Crypto bubbles. What have we got going on with crypto bubbles? Everything is green. Green. Some things here and there by 14% or 8%, but Yeah, overall. Oh, you saw that? What was that? What did I see here? Yeah, look at that mantra. Mantra did not recover. Right, you would think that it would recover a little bit. People like, they're like, okay, let me buy the dip, but I guess they didn't because everybody's like, hell no, I'm not touching that. Mantra's at 60 cents, so yeah, it didn't recover at all, right? It didn't recover from its rug pull, right? Because let's check out the chart. Mantra. Yeah, down to 61 cents. Yeah, is it lower than its rug pull price? Yeah, it's not doing good. I guess it just lost all its trust. Everybody's like, hell no. What else? Yeah, everything green with Mog. I added in a favorites list here. I've never done that before. So I put in some of my tokens, some of my big ones. I have like 150 or whatever, but but yeah, these are some of the big ones that I like the most. Look at AI16Zs. No, it's only 9%, but Nacho is here. I don't know where it gets this data from because I was able to find Nacho the cat, and I assume, okay, maybe because it has to be in like CoinMarketCap, but no, Dog K is definitely on CoinMarketCap, but it's not found in Crypto Bubble, so I couldn't find any other KRC20 token. Casper, yeah. Nacho is the only KRC20 token that's available on Crypto Bubbles, but yeah, everything trading sideways. What else we got going on? Yeah, Fartcoin. I want to talk about Fartcoin a little bit. Fartcoin. So, yeah, I find Fartcoin to be very interesting, right? Fart. Yeah, Fartcoin was one of those ones that was found by the software in my community extremely early, at like a 30 million market cap. And I thought it was silly. So that was like way back here. I was like, Fartcoin. I was like, what the hell? And I didn't buy it. So anybody in my community who bought it probably made a killing if they sold. Even if they didn't sell and they hodled, they're up quite significantly, right? Because they're up well over 20x even now. But Fartcoin recently has been so I'm like, okay, the thing has got crazy amounts of centralized exchanges. Look at that, 65. It's still getting centralized exchanges. So, and I'm like, I was hoping that it was going to dump like with everything else significantly after Liberation Day, but I mean, it didn't really. I mean, this is post Liberation Day, but then it just recovered the next day. Boom. Okay, I didn't get a chance to buy it, but yeah, it dumped a little bit. In the long run, I think this is. Yeah, I mean, I put a couple buys in recently, even though it's up so high, but it's definitely nowhere near its all-time high. So, but with its number of centralized exchanges, I can't believe a coin called Fartcoin is going to be a contender for like a top meme on this cycle. When I was like, I can't believe it. And that's why I didn't buy it. I was like, what the hell, Fartcoin? So it's number 6. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's nuts, right? The only coins that are bigger than Fartcoin now is Bonk, Official Trump, Pepe, Shiba, and Dogecoin. So, I mean, this is, I mean, it could be a top 5. I mean, it could beat out Bonk. So, yeah, I mean, it's better than Floki. I'm like, I can't believe something called Fartcoin is actually, I just can't believe it. But I think it's a damn good play. If that's the case, it's going to pass a 40 billion market cap. I think anything in the top 5 is probably going to go past 40 billion. So Fartcoin is, so you're still looking at Fartcoin, you're still, you're still looking at like at least a 50x potential from where it is today. And the thing is crazy strong. I mean, not in these last few weeks, there haven't been many tokens that have been strong on extremely red days for everybody else, right? The only one that really comes to mind is Cheems. Cheems is another play from my insider alert in my community, and it's been crazy strong. And luckily I bought into that one, so I'm good there. But yeah, if you want to buy into it now and hodl, I mean, if you look at this, it doesn't look like a good buy zone because of its pumps, but I mean, this thing is like crazy strong. I mean, the only thing you can hope for is that Jerome Powell comes out and starts talking out of his ass. I guess the pun is intended. And then Fartcoin dumps, and then I don't know, and then it dumps significantly, and it's I don't know, it goes down instead of 800 million, it's going to go down to like 400 million or something like that. But I don't think you're going to get Fartcoin too low because it's so strong. Other than that, something else, another play called in my community early, and this is one I did get in on. It looked like it took a dive today. I'm sorry, what is this? What's going on? This is today, or is this? Yeah, okay. This was just yesterday. So this is today's chart. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's dumping. It has a lot of centralized exchanges. And it's weird. I forgot how much I put into it. I can't imagine I put more than 20 or 30 bucks into this. But loose, and has a ton of centralized exchanges, which is a good thing. But it's more like a religious coin. So did I just have it open for? Yeah, right here, loose. And it's active. So yeah, I mean, it's active. I mean, it could get some pumps considering all the centralized exchanges and being active. I guess some whale just dumped on it, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you want to buy, put like 10 bucks into it, yeah, sure. I don't know. I'm not gonna put any more into it, but yeah, if it dumped and it's like that, who knows? At least it didn't dump as bad as Mantra, right? It dumped It dumped was it 61%? So Mantra dumped 94% in an hour and a half, right? In a single hour. Nuts. What else we got going on? Colin talks crypto. Yeah. This is the chart we have to look forward to. We're in this zone right now. And global liquidity is pumping. It has been pumping for the past 100 days. And we're, easing towards this right here. So we'll see what happens. See what happens with Jerome Powell. If he's right that stagflation is going to happen. I'm sure he's wrong, but I hope he's wrong, right? So if he's worried that there's going to be job losses and inflation, if prices are going to, I don't think he doesn't care about job losses. What he cares about is the inflation. The price is going to rise. So, and he wants to wait and see. And in the month of May, looking at April's data isn't good enough for him. I would believe that if he wants to wait and see the effect of tariffs on the economy, then him standing there in the month of May looking at April's data, I don't think that's going to be enough for him to be satisfied for what he wants to see. So interest rates might not be cut in May. So we have to prepare for that. We'll see what happens. Other than that, guys, I think I want to leave you with my video. I talked about it in a previous video. I had made a video 2 years ago in early 2023 describing what is stagflation. It's a video called, what is it? Stagflation versus recession, choose wisely or die. Very informative, but I made it very cinematic and so on. So I will catch you guys later. Peace.
Gold Monkey Mike, you have been brought here because you believe that you know about inflation. You spend your time on YouTube talking to these gullible people. Why?
Hey, my subscribers are not gullible.
Don't interrupt me. I was not talking about your subscribers. I was talking about those who have not yet clicked the subscribe button or the like button. But as I was saying, they watch you and believe you are an expert who knows all there is to know about inflation. But I want to play a game with you. There are two big buttons here. If you choose the one on the left, it is because you believe that stagflation is better to have than a recession. If you choose the one on the right, it is because you believe that a recession is better to have than stagflation.
What if I think it isn't better to choose either one?
I told you not to interrupt me. This is a game. If you do not choose, then you will die. The clock is ticking, Gold Monkey Mike.
So in our last video, we talked about this big scary monster known as inflation and how we can beat it in 2023. But as Jiggy points out over here, there might be some more monsters out there in the economy that are just lurking around. I'm going to take a closer look at two of them, stagflation and recession, because as you know, apparently, my life depends on it. Think of it like a classic monster movie. Prices are skyrocketing, jobs are scarce, and everything is going wrong. This is the reality of stagflation and recession, but really, which one of them is the most terrifying? Let's first examine stagflation. This phenomenon is the combination of high inflation and stagnant economic growth, and it has the power to wreak havoc on businesses, households, and the overall economy. But what causes stagflation and how can it be dealt with? Let's find out. Stagflation exists in an economy where prices are rising at an alarming rate and jobs are running scarce. This is the reality of stagflation. It's a situation where the cost of goods and services are rising, but the economy is not growing at the same pace. This can make it difficult for consumers to afford their basic necessities, and can also make it harder for businesses to make a profit. But one of the main causes of stagflation is an increase of the price of oil. When oil prices go up, the cost of producing and transporting goods and services increases, which leads to higher prices for consumers. Additionally, stagflation can also be caused by a weak currency, which makes it more expensive to import. It could also be caused by high interest rates, which make it more difficult for businesses to borrow and then eventually grow.
Time is running out, Gold Monkey Mike.
You know, when I get out of here, I'm going to rip your head off and I'm going to shove it up Schwarzenegger's.
You're assuming that your viewers watched the previous video in this series.
Now, let's talk about recession. A recession is a period of economic decline characterized by a decrease in economic activity, plus rising unemployment and falling GDP. It's a time when businesses struggle to make a profit and many people lose their jobs. But what causes a recession and how can we deal with it? Recession is caused by a variety of factors, including a decline in customer spending, a decrease in business investment, and a lack of access to credit. When people spend less, businesses make less money and they may need to lay off employees. Additionally, when businesses invest less, it can lead to slow economic growth and job losses. Plus, when credit becomes harder to access, businesses may have a harder time growing and consumers may have a harder time making big purchases. So can these economic issues be combated, and how can we achieve that? One approach is to use monetary policies such as cutting interest rates. When interest rates are low, it's cheaper for businesses to borrow and for consumers to access credit. This can help to stimulate economic growth and create jobs. However, this approach can have its own negative consequences, such as creating inflation and leading to bubbles in the housing market or other areas of the economy. An alternative strategy that can be employed is the utilization of fiscal policy measures, such as ramping up government spending or reducing taxes. This can invigorate economic expansion and generate employment opportunities. However, it's important to note that this approach can have the potential to amplify budget deficit and lead to an escalation in government debt. Fiscal policy works by adjusting government spending and taxation levels to influence the economy. For instance, increasing government spending can act as a stimulus for government growth, by pumping more money into the economy, leading to increased consumption and investment. On the other hand, cutting taxes can put more money into people's pockets and lead to increased spending and
economic growth. You are trying my patience, Mike. You have only 1 minute left. If your audience does not want to see your choice, they can click the card in the top corner of the screen to learn about the history of beer markets. But they will leave this video knowing that you will soon perish.
It's also important to think about what could happen in the long run if we rely too much on expanding government spending. This could cause prices to go up and make it harder for us to pay back the money we owe. Therefore, policymakers need to strike a delicate balance between utilizing fiscal policy as a tool for economic growth, while also ensuring that it doesn't lead to adverse consequences in the long run. Another solution for a recession is to focus on structural economic reform that can improve long-term growth potential of an economy. This can include improving the efficiency of the economy, such as reducing regulations and bureaucracy, investing in infrastructure and education, and opening up the economy to international trade. So which is worse? While both stagflation and recession have negative effects on the economy, stagflation is generally considered more difficult to deal with. This is because it's caused by a combination of factors, including high oil prices, a weak currency, and high interest rates. Furthermore, government policies that help combat recession, like cutting interest rates, could make stagflation worse, causing inflation to rise. It's also important to note that both stagflation and recession can cause a lot of negative effects on a society, such as an increase in poverty, unemployment, and inequality. Moreover, it could poorly impact the value of people's savings, investments, and overall financial security. In conclusion, both stagflation and recession are economic challenges that could have serious economic consequences. But when it comes to which one is worse, well, stagflation is generally more difficult to deal with than recession, so yeah, stagflation is worse, so I'll choose recession.
Good choice. You survived today in this basement, and hopefully the events here have prepared you for what's to come out there in the real world. It doesn't look good. The Fed is going to raise interest rates again, and inflation could become a reality. You can explain that in your next video on this series. Good luck.